Indeed.
Now this just into our newsroom. Governor Rick Scott has just declared a state of emergency to prepare Florida for Hurricane Irma. So anybody who has been through a hurricane knows what it's like when you go without power, for sure.
And we have a guest with us to talk about that. But to be clear, people hear state of emergency. This is the governor simply saying, I want all 67 counties to know that they have the kind of resources they can call on. It's an orchestrated ballet of people and equipment and logistics. And so our guest from FPL is smiling because he knows full well that. So it's the governor saying, we want to be ready, so I'm declaring it now so I can start to free up the kind of resources. And part and parcel of that, one of the people to be talking to most closely, our friends at FPL, Pete Robbins, a spokesperson with FPL, joining us now. We'll talk a little bit more about how you integrate with the state there. But first and foremost, you kind of break it into two parts, what you're doing on your end, but people at home are saying, what do I need to be mindful of doing around my home, my yard? What do I need to do first at home?
You know, first of all, I want to say we're absolutely ready for the storm. We take this very seriously at FPL, as you take it here at the television station. Preparation's the name of the game for us, and we really want folks to be prepared now. They really should be making any final preparations. They should have their disaster kit ready to go. They should think about what supplies they personally need to have on hand in their home in case they're without power for an extended amount of time. You know, we want our people and our customers to prepare for outages. This is a powerful storm, as we've been talking about. So if it makes a direct hit on Florida or even just has a sort of a lesser impact on Florida, we still will see outages. We want people to be ready for that.
You doing any final branch clearing? I know you have a very vigorous program with that. And I also know that you warn people at this time, particularly when people might say, ooh, maybe I should go cut some more. That can be a dangerous situation. So what's your best advice to people who say, gosh, I'm worried, might I have a branch here or there? What do you say to the homeowner safety-wise, and what are you all doing?
First of all, safety-wise, stay away from power lines. The first and foremost, period, end of story, whether it's before a storm or any other week of the year, stay away from power lines. Hire a professional to come in if there's any concern that something is near a power line. But as far as doing that now or this week, it's probably a little too late. You know, the concern would be that vegetation gets stacked and doesn't get picked up for whatever reason, and then gets blown around and clogs a drain or hits someone's house. So we're probably nearing that phase where it's a little late.
If you have pickup and you know your service comes, say in the next day or two, because I think a lot of people, in fairness, they've been in Labor Day weekend mode.
Sure.
You know, they're kind of turning on, you know, they're joining us on Facebook Live right now, and perhaps they haven't been tapped in, perhaps they're just coming in from out of town. I think the message is out now that everybody needs to start thinking about their plan. But if they have done nothing yet, and you're saying final preps, if I have a couple of limbs out there and I know I have a pickup service, say in a day or two, no? You're still saying no?
If you know you have the pickup service, that would be a little bit of a different ballgame. The concern would be that gets suspended somehow, though, and that doesn't get picked up. And then it just clogs storm drains. It could blow around in a storm. So it's really why we encourage people to do this prior to hurricane season. And I know that's hindsight now, but hopefully folks took preparations seriously then and made those preparations.
Talk about FPL preps. You serve 4.5 million customers over better than half, 35 of our 67 counties, as I recall. Talk about your preps, your command and control center, your logistics, crews you're able to get ready to move into our area after a storm. And of course, everybody always crucially asks, what should I expect about how long my power might be out and to be restored? Give us sort of a holistic look at all of that.
In your magic ball, right?
Which it always is.
It's that orchestrated ballet you mentioned a few moments ago. It's bringing the thousands of hardworking men and women we have and the contractors and resources we rely on, making sure that we're all ready to go. So we do that planning year round. Now we start to finalize that as we have a better idea of where this storm might head and what the intensity might be. And over the next few days, we start to kind of narrow our focus as to where we think the damage might potentially be, and try to pre-position resources so that as soon as it's safe, as soon as the storm is gone, we can jump in there and start reconnecting folks.
Talk about how much you've worked to harden your infrastructure, and do you feel, whatever comes our way, that it's significantly strengthened since 04, 05, when we had Charlie, Francis, Gene, and Ivan, two of those coming through here, and then Wilma in 05. How much significant upgrade have you had on infrastructure? What about remote capacity to see problems after they happen that you used to have to send a crew out? What will it mean in terms of getting power restored quickly after a major storm?
Two huge things.
The potential of a major storm.
The potential of a major storm. Two huge things are investments in the system, making it smarter, making it more resilient, making it tougher so that it can stand severe weather better. We saw it perform better last year during Hermine and Matthew. We see it perform better when we have thunderstorms on a summer afternoon in Florida. So the infrastructure is one. Number two is the technology. It is night and day compared to where it was in 2004, 2005.
How?
When Well, we didn't even have smartphones then. We didn't have remote technology like that. You and I talked about this
Right,
last year during
right.
a storm. We used to do things with clipboards and pencil and paper. Now it's done electronically and in real time in some cases. So our ability to see what's happening in the grid and respond is so much more efficient.
So does that mean that the last storm we had that was a direct hit, you said Wilma, I was out of power for 14 days. Does that mean that your infrastructure has improved so much that, again, I know you can't guess where this thing's going, and even if we would be impacted at all at this point, but does that mean because of your infrastructure being better, my time without power is going to be shorter?
In a general sense, we absolutely think our investments will speed restoration. And in some cases, it'll help us avoid outages. We avoided 150,000 interruptions during Matthew and Hermine last year because of our technology and because of the smart grid, which can actually self-correct certain problems and avoid problems from cascading and becoming larger on the electric grid. So look, there'll be cases if a tree impacts your power lines and pulls it off your house, of course you're going to be out longer than other folks. But for the vast majority of people, the investments we've made in technology and the grid will absolutely mean a faster restoration on the back end of a storm. Every case is different. Like we said, every house is different, but it definitely speeds our restoration effort.
Well, we're at the reminder stage for all of our preps. I know you're deep into it. I know you have a command center up off your bunker, really, Category 5 capable center up off 45th, as memory serves.
Yes.
Ready to go, crews from out of state. You can draw on those resources. We'll be drawing on the resource of calling you plenty in the next several days just to keep in touch and let everybody know what you're doing to be ready.
No, it's important. We're in that sort of final phase, and you know, hopefully something changes and it doesn't impact Florida, right? We still have a little bit of time, but we urge preparation year-round, and this is the time when that pays off. So
we'll be in close touch with you.
Thank you very much.
We thank you so much for being in.
You bet.
Thanks so much.